People in their 20s and 30s like me that are believers currently are in a sticky situation right now, because in this generation we have been called by God to be in place for Him. We've been called into positions, into titles as like apostles and pastors and prophets and teachers and preachers and evangelists, where actually we are one of the first generations that has in a long time actually answered this call. We're actually doing the work as the remnant church, as the end times church, as the younger generation of believers. We are one of the few that have actually answered. Maybe the only generation in a very long time that's answered at all. And the situation we're in is that we are called and charged to change things in the world right now. We are set to set off change in others and to sow seeds in others for change in the world. We're meant to go out there and impact the world with the truth and the testimonies that we have from Jesus. And the sad thing is that the generation that we are set to change is in part the older generation who for the past few generations have obstinately and defiantly refused to answer the call that God has put on their lives. They've refused to answer to the titles they've been set to speak to. They've refused to go to the places they've been sent to. They refused to take on the titles and positions they were set to take on. They've refused to take on the callings that God called them into. They refused to do the work and to raise up the new generation. And now, as we are here, as the remnant church, and as the new church, and as a church of believers and people in the fivefold ministry that were called and have answered, we're being corrected by this older generation that did nothing in their time. They didn't affect any change. They didn't ever speak up for Jesus. They never stood up for the truth. They've done nothing, and they want to correct us because we're bringing correction to them. We're calling out things that they haven't done in a long time. Things that they allowed have impacted us for the past few generations. They're impacting our world today in such a way that it's, when you look around, just total disgusting demonic behavior everywhere that you look. And why? Not because of our generation. And they might blame us because maybe some of our generation's doing it. But it was caused by lack of faith, lack of control, lack of answering, lack of accountability, lack of leadership in the older generations. They've allowed things to evolve this way. I look back at TV, going back as far as like Mary Tyler Moore, like in the 60s, the 50s. In the old shows, their beds were apart. Even married couples had two beds in their bedroom. They weren't together. And it used to be that way. Like, people weren't talking about doing the bing bing on TV, let alone doing naked stuff on TV. And then they started putting the beds together. They started doing things where it's cool if you know, like, if you're not married and you're doing this and you're doing that. And it's cool also if you believe this way, which is counter to the actual natural state of humanity and of biology and basic animal instinct and human instinct. It goes directly against what we were created to be. We'll just allow it. That's fine. Let's put it on TV. Let's just allow it. Let's just lead this whole new generation into it. And then when they get to that point, let's blame them for it. Then whenever they try to bring correction to us and try to correct what we've done, let's put them in their place and tell them, who do you think you're talking to? You know, you need to stay out of the clubs. You need to do this. You need to stay out of that, stay out of that. You know, who built the clubs? We didn't build the clubs. Clubs been here since before people in our 20s and 30s were even alive yet. Who built the clubs? Who built the skyline of Chicago? Who built the skyline of Tampa? Who built Ybor City? Who built Tampa? Who built this? Who built that? We didn't build it. Y'all built it. Y'all built New York. You guys doing your activities built all of the capitalism and disgustingness that we have in America today. That wasn't us. So either you have to come to a place where, if you are one of those older generations I'm speaking about, you have to come to a place where you give up trying to be in control of the newer generation and accept accountability and correction, and also pass the torch. It's time to pass the torch. When you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, it's time to pass the torch. Let people that have been called by God, things that you camped out on that you didn't actually do, a position that you were meant to fill that you never did, let somebody have that office. It's sitting empty. You've done nothing with it. You've wasted it. You've wasted all of your generation's time. You've done nothing. And now all of the future progress is all up to us. And you won't accept accountability or correction. And you won't even allow us to take the position. You won't let us have the office because you're so scared to give up the keys, because that might mean that you won't have some kind of authority or your merit because of the time you've spent just being a believer and doing nothing but believing. And you're afraid of that you're going to lose your, seniority. You're afraid of losing seniority, of losing credit, of losing a title, of losing whatever grip you have on your church that you're leeching funds out of, whatever kind of money your money grab you're going on at your church. You're afraid to lose these things, and we're going to abolish all of it. We're going to seize the keys to those offices. We're going to take on what God has told us to do. We are not going to stay in our place. God bless.